Brain rot. I'm sure at one point in our lives, we've consumed some form of brain rot. And that got me wondering, are we cooked as a society? Like, I think I need to know the answer. But what is exactly considered brain rot content? Brain rot is anything that has no substance whatsoever, and it just feels like you're in a trance when you're scrolling through it. It kind of feels like an out-of-body experience almost. And half the time, you have no idea what the you're watching. It's kind of like you fall asleep to YouTube and then you wake up at 3 in the morning to somebody speaking in a different language. It's kind of like that. So in today's video, I decided I was going to take 5 different categories of brain rot and rank them based on how much they rot your brain on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst. I've been subject to some brain rot content in my time. My attention span is probably worse than a goldfish. My brain is just on another planet, totally off the map. And it all started when I was just a baby. My parents put on these DVDs that were basically like Gen Z's version of Cocomelon. And honestly, I think this is where the lack of brain cells comes from. I would sit down for hours and just watch these DVDs glued to the screen. And whenever that shit would shut off, I would just cry. But as I grew older, in 4th grade, I got an iPad. Like, I was already cooked, dude. It was over. There was really no saving me. And once I got this iPad, of course I downloaded YouTube. Like, what else am I gonna do on this iPad? And it was not like I didn't go outside at all. Like, my parents set limits and restrictions on the iPad, which is good. But the problem came in when they did not monitor what I was watching whatsoever. Now, the content that I watched, it wasn't bad or explicit in any way. It was just odd. Like, yo, why the f are you watching this? Kind of odd. And of course, around that time, I got introduced to Annoying Orange. I hope that f***ing orange gets ran over by a semi-truck, stepped on by 5 different people, and gets left to rot on the street. All right, but maybe I'm crashing out. But look, as a kid, I loved this. I don't know how it was the most annoying show ever created. I mean, hence the name Annoying Orange. Jesus Christ. I literally rocked an Annoying Orange t-shirt to school. If that's not negative drip, I don't know what is. Like, at that point, I would have rather wore that stupid ass zip up creeper hoodie and been like, oh my God, guys, I'm a creeper. I would have maybe had a little bit more friends if I did that. Never mind, I take that back. And when I got into middle school, I was introduced to MLG videos. When people think Gen Z nostalgia, nobody thinks MLG. No one's like, oh yeah, the good old days, MLG. That shit was some ass. Like, it's even more hyper edited than my videos. And I could not count how many kids were running around the school screaming, Mom, get the camera, down the hallways. Like, please shut the f up. But these videos really stood out to me because I was impressed by the editing, the absolute beauty, the divine quality. Looking back, you can make that shit in like 5 minutes. Vine. Like, do I even want to get into this one? All it was 6-second videos of catchphrases that got annoying. Kids in the gym locker room would just scream Beckfist. Like, who the f says that anymore? And of course, thanks to the popular dances, motherfuckers would just start emoting out of nowhere. And some of you might be wondering, what happened to Vine now? That shit got nuked in 2018. But when I got to high school, it got so much worse, bro. Uganda Knuckles was created. Whoever the f made this, never cook again. Gen Z brain rot, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 on the brain rot scale. It's not too bad compared to what we got next. A lot of people are saying that brain rot is worse than Gen Alpha, and honestly, I could not agree more. It seems like nowadays you could just plop anything on a screen, any sound effect, and people will fuck with it. As long as stuff is moving, you'll get good retention. And part of the problem with Gen Alpha, and honestly, it's not really their fault, they were born with technology in their hands right away. These babies know how to fully function an iPad at 1 year old. Like, yo, what kind of superhumans are spawning in nowadays? A lot of kids in Gen Alpha were forced to spend their years where they're developing their social skills inside because of you know what. And all they could really do for entertainment is watch videos on their iPad. Like, they were quite literally forced to consume content. And they were posted up in the crib watching Cocomelon? There's been so much buzz around Cocomelon as of late. Even my mom knows what Cocomelon is. It's insane. It's so crazy how much motion this channel has. And of course, there's other forms of content for kids who are a little bit older, such as Skibbity Toilet. It is insane how obsessed some kids are with Skibbity Toilet. Some kids be screaming the song. Some kids be screaming to the Skibbity gods when they get a flu shot. And me personally, just looking at that head in the toilet creeps me the f out, bro. Now, in 2020, YouTube Shorts dropped, and you can really only imagine how much worse it got. Motherfuckers like Lanky Box were spawning in. You know how people were saying like SpongeBob was rotting kids' brains? Then I don't know how nobody is concerned about this content. My parents never let me watch SpongeBob at all, but I'm sure some kids are glued to their screens for hours a day scrolling through Lanky Box Shorts. And of course, there's great creators in YouTube Shorts, but there's some that are just like, yo, what are you even making? Like Brent Rivera, Topper Guild, Jack Doherty. We'll get to that guy later. But I get that the whole point of this content is obviously not to appeal to me, and everybody's got to make their bag somehow. But me personally, though, I would consider it brain rot. And some people are taking these things like Skibbity Toilet, Digital Circus, things that are more to appeal towards younger people. And they make the weirdest animations of, I'm not gonna put it on screen. But dude, if I show this fully, I'm getting a strike. This dude edited the video, uploaded it, and hit post, and was like, yeah, this is good. Like, you had 3 times to think about it, and you still uploaded this shit. But on the brain rot scale, I'm gonna have to give this one a 9 out of 10. It's pretty bad. Social media. It seemed like a breath of fresh air when we got introduced to MySpace in 2002. Everybody was easily able to contact each other, and it really seemed like a point of evolution for us as a society. And at one point it was. And some of the shit I see on social media makes me question, yo, are we heading in the right direction? TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, these platforms have their pros. You can grow your audience, make a career out of it, etc. But there's also so many downsides to these platforms. Like, some content on here is so weird, like, I just don't get it. But sometimes I see some reels and I'm like, damn, these are pretty funny. But like, yeah, you could argue that some of this has gotta be brain rot. Like, I couldn't watch this and say I feel intellectual right now. And these platforms also have some weird ass shit on there, especially Twitter. When it comes to content on Twitter, you will see some random ass meme, right? And then you'll see a girl promoting her OF at the bottom. Subscribe to my OnlyFans for $1 only. Like, bro, shut the f up. No one's subscribing. And surprisingly, this has also become a problem on other platforms as well. And that's why I brought up Jack Doherty earlier. This guy pinned in his comments on his TikToks and his shorts his OF link. And then he's got a ring of OnlyFans girls going too. I was looking through the comments on these videos. There's no way this kid is older than 8 years old that commented this. Use and car smoke. All right, bro, I'm not gonna ask. But it's crazy that some girls sign their soul to OF when they're 18. Once the clock struck midnight, they didn't even think about it. They just did it. But not only are some of the videos weird, so are the comments, especially on IG Reels. Everybody's talking about IG Reels comments like it's been a big meme on the internet, and people just say the most out-of-pocket shit ever in these comment sections. Like, how do you even come up with some of this shit? I'm gonna read some now just so you guys get a nice understanding of what we're working with here. Somebody can make a video like, guys, I got into a car accident. Things aren't really looking good. I think I need surgery. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pay for it. Thug it out. You got a 9-to-5 and a family to feed. Oh, boo-hoo. Get your money up, not your funny up. Go get some motion. You could say that all you want on this video, but bro, there's a time and a place. And then people get some weird-ass comments like, oil yourself up. I'ma be there in 15 minutes. Pause? What the fuck? Like, yo, it is insane how out of pocket these are. And it doesn't matter what video, you're gonna get comments like this. These motherfuckers just be saying the same shit over and over again. Like this dude 100% is posted up in math class thinking he's a D1 troll. Social media, I'm gonna have to give it maybe like a 5 out of 10. Like, there's some corners of the internet that are just so weird that you do not want to go down. And there's just some that are so random and stupid. But of course, social media's got great content to offer as well. That's why it's only like a 5 out of 10. Now, when it comes to gaming, it's not really the games themselves that are brain rot. It's more or less the content surrounding the games and the internet culture around the games as well. Like, you've definitely been scrolling on social media and definitely have seen an Among Us meme at some point. I literally saw one today, and that shit peaked like 3 years ago, bro. And a lot of people can universally agree that that shit is corny as hell. And don't even get me started on Roblox, bro. There be some motherfuckers on there that E-date and shit on the game. They join a Discord call, and he's like, hello, kitten. How are you on this fine evening? And the craziest part is, bro, I will say it again. I've said it so many times, but if that power cord cuts out, boom, the relationship is over. That's why I never really understood e-dating. Like, it was just always weird to me. Some people are more concerned about having game in Roblox than in real life. Or there's always that one kid in school that's just really obsessed with a certain game like FNAF. He'll watch FNAF videos all day in class. He'll walk around. He'll speak to you in FNAF terms. Like, there's no saving including this kid. And he will do this shit in the middle of the fucking hallway. And speaking of games, I think this topic in particular really needs to be highlighted. The fall off of mobile games. Like, what happened, bro? We went from Clash of Clans to Twerk Race 3D. I think the problem is everybody has access to make a game in the App Store. You could cook up whatever the you want, and I think that's part of the problem. When you're making a game, your heart and soul should really be poured into it. But in my personal opinion, that cannot be said about Twerk Race 3D. A difference from a game like that and then like FNAF, you could tell like a lot went into FNAF. And a lot of people will say that it's a great game. Nobody's gonna look back in like 5-10 years and say Twerk Race 3D was a great game. But speaking of mobile games, we got Gacha Life. Sometimes people cook the weirdest shit on there. And it just doesn't make sense because the game is for like young kids. Like, how do they even think of that? Like, you give a 7-year-old kid an iPad, they don't know how to act, bro. It's crazy. And a lot of these games have microtransactions and cosmetics, and people take advantage of this. Specific YouTubers set up live streams and pretend like they're giving away V-Bucks or Robux or whatever. And I mean, yeah, I would consider the streams themselves to be brain rot, but I had to bring it up though. These motherfuckers be like, guys, type your names in the chat. I'm gonna be giving every person a gift card, and that shit's just pre-recorded. When I was a kid, I fell for those Clash of Clans gem scam ads. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10 on the brain rot scale. Now, I feel like this topic at hand is pretty interesting. The topic of Gen Z slang and Gen Alpha slang has taken the internet by storm. Literally, everybody's been talking about it, even fucking Ben Shapiro. And now there's so much content surrounding these slang words that I would say is just the worst of the worst. It just ruined a lot of these slang words, and honestly, a lot of them were just garbage in the first place and should have never been created. Of course, we got skibbity, gyat, Ohio, edging. It has gotten to the point where teachers had to ban edging in school. I mean, that shit should be banned in the first place. It's pretty self-explanatory. But these motherfuckers were actually doing that shit in a classroom. Like, bro, what is wrong with you? A lot of these words are just so overused, they literally get stale within less than a week. I feel like if you're in Gen Alpha and you're a kid right now, you could go to the playground, school, or the park, wherever the f you go. You will hear the people you interact with saying it the whole time. It's like press X to interact type shit, bro. Some people use these words so fucking much, it's hard to have normal conversations with these people. I can't even imagine how some of these kids are growing up, bro. Oh, honey, he's about to say his first words. Yat, regular, Ohio, skib. And a lot of that shit is hieroglyphics to me. Like, I barely even know what it means. And it's really gotten to a point where they have made an entire song surrounding this. I'm not gonna play it because I don't want to subject you to this dookie ass song, bro. Like, leave the studio right fucking now. Like, whoever made this song, you are genuinely the worst artist to ever touch the mic. Then there was shit like All I Want for Rizmas is a yacht or whatever the all over my For You page in December. Like, yo, can I just enjoy Christmas without being bombarded with this cringy ass slang, please? Now, when it comes to slang, or any trend for that matter, the internet moves really quick. Like, one day Riz could be cool to say, and then the next day, yo, that shit's cringe as f, like, stop saying. I'm pretty sure the entirety of AMP would say Riz in 2021. It's so bad now, not even Duke Dennis wants to be associated with the word. I could only imagine how he must feel in public. Duke! Oh my god, Duke, you have so much Riz!
Rizzler definitely plays for the Washington Wizards.
Annoying, isn't it? Yeah, that's what happens when a slang word is overused. And sometimes I look back at my old videos and I cringe. Because I think to myself, damn, that shit was mad fucking corny. Why did I say it? But for whatever that word was, I guess for its time, it was a good word. But as the internet moves, the word just becomes more and more stale. Or there's some that will live on forever. For example, everybody still says bruh or mid. But for fuck's sake, man, no one is saying yeet anymore. Not that yeet. But this shit, in my personal opinion, is getting a 10 of 10 on the brain rot scale. It's pretty bad. And I guess, you know, the moral of this video, just watch what you consume on the internet.